Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dreamleapers Inspiration. I'm your host, Harriet Cole. So very honored and happy to be with you today. Whew, what a day it is. I was on this day each week when I prepare to be with you for Dreamleapers Inspiration. Normally, the whole focus of the morning is this engagement. What will we explore? What thoughts are important for us to contemplate? Just how to be with you in this moment. And because for the past about month, every morning before any such thing, I've been getting up and moving. I said, okay, am I going to pivot and pause and not get up and move and just focus on inspiration? Or will I do both? And I'm proud of myself that I got up early enough to do a 1.5 mile walk. And because I needed to move quickly, I moved a little faster than normal. And it was all great, not just good, it was great. Great in particular because I felt like I'm doing what I promised myself I would do for me. And then I had plenty of energy and plenty of time to come back and get ready to be inspired to be with you and to bring you a message that I hope will encourage you to be your best today and every day. And what I was thinking about was movement, the importance of moving, the importance of engaging the full physical self. Because for me, I'm a writer, I'm a thinker, I'm a talker, and those things do not require me to move my body. They require me to move my brain, but that's not the same thing as moving the body, right? And so I was just trying to think about how do we put these together? The movement of the physical body with the movement of the mind, and giving priority to both and making space for both, even in the midst of a very full life schedule, whatever it might be. And I was looking around for quotes, and it was fascinating because what kept coming to me was not about movement. It was about self-possession. It was about being true to who you are, being in alignment with yourself, with oneself, and what happens when that occurs. And that's why I titled this inspiration, Just Be. Just be, because that's what's important, to just be yourself, to be you, to honor whatever is inside of you that says, this is how I want to live. This is how I want to move through space. This is how I want my life to be. But then when you think about it, just be could be telling you, just be still, just don't do anything. Just exist. But it's so much bigger than that. If you are just going to be with you, then you are fully accepting who you are, what you stand for, what is important in your life, and you figure out what you need to do in order to honor your life, right? So it's not stagnant. To just be does not mean to sit still and never move again. And I say that as one who has sat on the stool that I'm sitting on now. Look, ever since COVID struck us and we were at home, this stool became my friend, and then it almost felt like I was glued to it. It was kind of weird. And so you have to get up, you have to move around, you have to engage your full self. And I think when you do that, just being takes on a very dynamic presence because it's claiming the fullness of who you are. And so I'd like for us to look at the quote that I found, which I think is fitting, very, very simple. It's from Leo Tolstoy. He says, if you want to be happy, be. If you want to be happy, be. So we all want to be happy, don't we? We all want to feel that fullness of joy that can come over you when your soul is stirred in a really soothing way. When you're satisfied with whatever is occurring in your life at a particular moment, that feeling of satisfaction can feel like happiness, don't you think? That feeling of closeness to your goals, of closeness to self, of closeness to what matters to you, can allow a certain peace to come over you. You can breathe a little bit more deeply. And when that happens, what happens? When that happens, I believe there's a certain relaxation that comes inside of your body, inside of yourself. And we can call it happiness. Tolstoy called it being happy. Maybe it's even just being peaceful, being at one with you. When you invite your own peace and happiness to be with you, to be enough. When you do that, then what happens? When you decide that just being you in your own skin, wherever you are, however you are, is enough. Because if you are a person of faith, you know you're not alone. I honestly think that what happens when you accept you as you are, it puts you in closer alignment with the divine. It allows you to sit in the company of the divine because you're still. And guess what? There's a stillness of the spirit that happens even when you're moving. So today, when I was walking through the park at a pretty fast clip, making sure that I was standing up tall, I was breathing fully, I was engaging my full self, I was moving, and yet there was a sense of peace with every step. I saw people who I now see almost every day in the park. I saw them, I noticed them, we greeted each other. That occurred too, and still, there was this flow. There was this flow that felt like peace, that felt like, Tolstoy calls it happiness. He says, if you want to be happy, just be. I didn't need anything other than to do what I'd set my heart on doing, which was to move, to engage my physical self so that I could make my body stronger and awaken my full self to the day. And then I could notice everything and everyone around me in a sense of harmony. Now, contrast that to if you feel like you need to catch up with somebody, you feel like you have to go faster than the person who's next to you. When you feel like you're in competition with a person, a situation, a moment, then what happens? You're sizing yourself up as you move along. If I keep with my walk, I'm walking around a track. Once I get to this park, I walk around a track, and it helps me to count my steps and just be able to relax because I know exactly what I'm going to do, and it's on repeat. And there are people that I see, some who are interesting, some who are seemingly inconsequential to me in the moment, some who are moving really well, and you're like, oh, can I be inspired by them? But what if instead of feeling inspired by whatever is before you, you feel agitated? Does that ever happen to you, that whether it's your walk or your day, the project you're working on, whatever it might be, what if you aren't feeling settled within yourself? What if you're feeling that you have to posture in some way? That's the opposite of to just be. That is sizing yourself up. That is pushing to be better than. That is pumping yourself up to have some kind of posture. And I'm going to say posturing takes a lot of energy that, while sometimes it may be valuable, let's say it's not right now. If what we are looking to do is to fully inhabit ourselves, to fully step into our greatness as we are, and then if we need to improve, we see things that we can do better about ourselves, then we can welcome that goodness in, because we're not judging ourselves. We are lovingly observing ourselves and allowing ourselves to be fully present in that moment. This is something that I wonder if you've thought about it. It can be impossible to imagine if you are feeling down, if you are feeling like the goal that you've set for yourself is so high and you're so far away from it. And I'll tell you, back to this exercising motif, when I started walking again, something that I had done for years very actively and then had stopped for years. When I started, I only walked a little teeny bit and I was out of breath. Has that ever happened to you? I was like, whoa, I had to pause. I had to stop. And it wasn't even on so much of a hill. It was just that I was way out of shape and hadn't been moving. And so for me in that moment, to just be was to stop, to be still so that I could catch my breath. But I didn't stop entirely. I paused, I regained composure, and I kept moving. I paused, I regained composure, I kept moving. I allowed myself to be with myself. There were people whizzing by me on bikes, walking, running, every age, every size. For a moment, I was feeling kind of bad, like, oh, did I wait too late? I'm not going to be able to re-engage myself. But I didn't give up. I allowed myself to be with me, put on blinders, not feel any kind of way about the people who were passing me, just to love myself and keep moving. And now, it's about 4 weeks later, I'm walking at a clip. I'm moving. I'm breathing. I can talk and walk all at the same time. So for those of you who are big exercise people, this may sound like child's play. But it's really a metaphor for everything. It's not just the physical movement. For me, that's where it is that I need to keep pushing and re-engage a discipline. But the same could be true for anything. What does it mean to fully engage yourself, to fully be present for yourself, to show up in the greatest possible way and to reach as far as you can and then work toward it? What does that look like when the baby steps are hard? If there's anything in your life where the baby steps are hard, like, oh, I've got so much that I need to handle, and it's all sort of surrounding me and I'm not able to manage it as quickly as I need to, and I'm feeling overwhelmed. Has that ever happened to you? It happens to me. And then I go, ooh, wait a minute. To just be does not mean to surrender. It means to be actively, fully present and aware of what is surrounding you, what your responsibilities are. And then in the peace of the moment of awareness, to make a plan forward. That's how I understand it. And it's so easy for you to think, well, to just be is to just say, whatever, I'm going to sit back and do nothing. That's not my interpretation. My interpretation of just being, it's a meditation. You sit, you're still, you listen to the voice inside, you look for that connection to the divine, and you open your eyes to an understanding of what is next. So being, this sense of being is everything. It's living. It's fully engaging you. And I have talked to so many people, and I want to say this is something I've done myself as well. Sometimes we feel like just being ourselves is not enough. Sometimes it can seem impossible for us to just look at us, look in the mirror, look at yourself and go, I'm great. I'm good enough. Who I am is who I want to be. And who I want to expand into being is enough. Who I am is enough. I do a lot of public speaking, and I notice that when whoever the speaker is, whoever's on stage, whoever has the microphone, is the one who all the people around them are usually thinking of, that person's the one. That person's different from me. That person's elevated. That person has a much better life. That person, whatever it is, that person is on a pedestal. Maybe it's physically where the person is put. Maybe it is that person is fully engaging their power. Whatever it is, many of us will look at the person on stage and say, that's the important person. I'm not paying attention to anybody else. And when I'm on stage, I generally invite people to look to their left and their right. Who is next to you? Who's in front of you? Who's behind you? Before you leave this moment, make sure you speak to those people too. Because you never know what perfect synergy exists between you and somebody who's right there with you, unless you pay attention to them and open your eyes. Well, in the same way, open your eyes to you, to being you, to fully engaging yourself. Just being can be scintillating. To just be present in your being and to be awake and alert to yourself is powerful. And we often don't do it. We shrug it off, And so using just in this message, by the way, my message for you today is to just be. Now, I coach people all the time. I have a client just the other day who said to me, I'm just a host at an event. I'm just the host. See, just can be used to diminish you or to amplify you, uplift you. When she said, I'm just the host, she was thinking of herself in a shrinking kind of way. And the reality is, whoever serves as a host of anything, host of a party, host of a dinner, host of an event, host of a meeting, that person is one of the most important people because that person starts things. That person initiates the engagement. Therefore, that person might be the most important person. But often we don't think of it like that because it feels like a small role. Small roles do not have to be small because something small can have a huge impact. Well, Just can be used in different ways. Just be can be considered in a diminishing kind of way. I'm just going to be. I'm just going to stay put. I'm shrinking. My shoulders are crunching in. I'm going to just get under the covers and just be quiet. That is not what I mean, people. To just be is to relish in you, to relish in your own being, to allow yourself to take credit for your greatness, to allow yourself to be able to sit up straight and breathe deeply and own all of who you are. Think about that. Just being. If you look at different languages of the world, the verb to be is beautifully conjugated. And even English, there's so many ways that to be is transforming our understanding of how we live in space and how we engage each other. To be, to just be you, and to look in all the facets of you for greatness. Where does greatness lie within you? Have you paid attention to that? That's what Dreamleapers Inspiration is all about. We're supposed to pause and engage our greatness. So I want us to do this right now. Let's do a little meditation together. If you would sit up straight wherever you are seated, put your feet flat on the floor, and allow your feet to feel like they are just planting themselves in the earth. Whatever the ground is, think of it as earth. Put your hands with your thumb and forefingers together and put them on your knees. Sit up straight and tall with your shoulders relaxed. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes. And I want you to just breathe. Just breathe naturally but fully. In and out. Just breathe naturally. And as you're breathing in and out, tell yourself you just want to be. As you're looking to engage your happiness, you're just being. Breathe in. Breathe in light and goodness, and hold, and then exhale any discomfort you may have in your body. Once again, breathe in deeply. Breathing in light. See light surrounding you, and then exhale. Exhale any discomfort you may have. And one more deep breath. See that light coming from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, and then let it out. And then just breathe naturally. Allow yourself to have that breath come in and go out, and feel the breath moving throughout your body. Wherever you have tension, offer light to that part. And tell yourself that just being you in this moment is enough. It's even more than enough. It's great. It's engaging your greatness. Breathe in your greatness. Exhale any limitations. Breathe in your goodness. Exhale anything that may be standing in your way. And as you continue to breathe very naturally and deeply, fully, invite yourself to welcome your greatness into your awareness. Feel the feeling of being great as being the same as being you. Who is the great you within? Who is that person? How does that person show up? When you engage your greatness, how do you look at your challenges? When you engage your greatness, what happens when you stumble? Do you get back up, or do you stay on the ground? When you engage your greatness, how do you solve the puzzles of your life? How do you see others? Are you able to see others with tender eyes? Because when you engage your greatness, you see yourself with tender eyes. What happens to the judgment, the criticism, when you engage your greatness? Can you allow it to wash away? Let softness, tenderness take its place. Remove harshness, invite tenderness and intention. Now, please gently open your eyes. I'd like for you to write down, if you have something to write on and with right now, write down how you feel right now. After just a few moments of deep breathing and engaging yourself. Did you feel like you engaged your power? Did you feel like you could be more gentle with yourself? Did you feel energized to take on a challenge that you may have been avoiding? How do you feel? What came up for you? Write it down for yourself. What does it feel like to just be with yourself? To not compare yourself to anyone else? To just be you and to love you for who you are. For me, when that happens, I'm able to do more things for myself. Like get up this morning and walk early so that I would have engaged my physical self before coming to be with you. It took a lot, by the way, for me to reverse the inertia. I had been sitting on this stool using some kind of video technology forever. Then I injured myself, had surgery, and had to start over. I started over. I'm taking action for me. What about you? What can you do for yourself now that allows yourself to just be engaged with you and your greatness? And what happens when you do that? For me, it makes it easier for me to engage you. It makes my life more dynamic. And as Tolstoy said, if you want to be happy, if you want to be happy, be. Think of that. Sometimes it's just the simplest of things that can make all the difference. People think that in order to be happy, I have to reach this goal. I will be happy when I have made this much money, when I have this relationship, when I solve this problem, when I learn how to do X or Y. And sure enough, all of those things may be important for your life. But what did Tolstoy say? What did he say? Tolstoy said, if you want to be happy, just be. If you want to be happy, be. Be. Just be. Be present. Engage yourself. Love yourself. Allow yourself to engage your whole being. To me, again, that requires faith. However you engage with the divine, this is the time to do it. To be and to feel all the support of the universe flowing through you is to be in that oneness with the divine. However you understand the divine. To be is to be in that flow of God's energy, to be in alignment with that energy. And when that happens, it feels like a flow. It feels easier. It feels almost like you got renewed from the inside out. It works, people. I am not talking about something out in the stratosphere. I'm talking about something you can do for you. A couple of minutes of meditation, of prayer, of engagement with your spirit and your physical being. And then aligning your thoughts, words, and deeds so that what you think is what you say, is what you do. Peace comes then. When you're out of alignment, you're like, oh, what is going on? When you are in alignment, you invoke peace. You surround yourself with happiness and you attract goodness, which makes your life that much sweeter. It really works. So today, practice just being present, being engaged with the fullness of you, looking for the fullness of you if you are feeling diminished, breathing that fullness into you, and then looking through tender eyes at yourself and others with intention as you go about your day and your tasks. Just be, everyone. It's worth it. Until next time, have a great day and make it count. Namaste.